Your Saturday night football comes live from the Amex Stadium as Gus Poyet's Brighton take on Gianfranco Zola's Watford. Teams about to emerge and the fans will be enjoying the cover this wonderful new stadium provides. It is another filthy night for the Watford fans who travel and, of course, for the Brighton fans who've gathered here as well. Let's hear from the two managers. Then ahead of kick-off, they've been speaking with Jonathan Oakes.
Well, Gus, it's supposed to be a busy time of year, but this is your first game in 11 days. Are you looking forward to getting back out there?
Yeah, I think most of the players and the fans. I remember my first few years that it was very unusual to play during Christmas. Then you get used. Then is when it's more quantity of games. And then for some reason we didn't play, which is quite hilarious. But the good thing is that we've been able to train and we are ready to go and perform.
Well, Gianfranco, just one defeat in 10. You've broken into the playoff places in recent weeks. Are you ahead of schedule?
Well, I think, yes, considering the way we started at the beginning of the problems and difficulties we had, yes, we are certainly ahead of where we should have been.
You come up against your friend Gianfranco Zola today. What are you expecting from his team?
Quality on the ball, organisation. They've been difficult to beat. I think it can be a very entertaining game.
Well, I'm expecting that they will play a good game and they will cause us problems, that's for sure. They are a good team and Gustavo knows all the tricks and is such a good manager. So we will have to play a good game if we want to get something out of it.
All the best, Gianfranco. Thanks for joining us.
So we're all set to go. Let's join our commentators then here at the Amex Stadium. It's Don Goodman and first Bill Leslie.
And let's run you through the two lineups first of all. That winter break for Brighton's allowed time for rest, recuperation, and it's given them time to get some players fit. Spanish fullback Bruno returns in one of 3 changes from the side that drew against Millwall 11 days ago. Kazenga Lualua's goal in that game has earned him his first start since October, and also fit after 3 games out with a rib injury is former Swansea striker Andrea Orlandi. Watford had already named their side to play Bristol City on Boxing Day before the game was called off. Today, Gianfranco Zola sticks with that 11. Scottish-born Ikechi Anya will cover for the suspended Marco Cassetti, so 6 players on loan at Watford start here this evening. Most of them from Udinese or Granada, but one of those is a promising teenager on loan from Chelsea, Nathaniel Chalobah, in the final month of his current deal. One former Watford player who's here at Brighton is out today. There's no Will Buckley involved, but another, Will Hoskins, is on the bench. Watford have Fernando Forestieri available again after injury. Well, Brighton oozing with talent, but not Don oozing with goals. 2 in his last 3 off the bench has earned this fella a start today. Is he just picking in form, Gustavo Poyet?
Well, I think he is, and I think Gus Poyet knows that he needs to turn 10 draws out of 23. He needs to turn some of them into wins, and the problem has been lack of goals. And Kazenga Lualua, he's done well off the bench, and I think it is a case of, you know, put somebody in who's in good form, got confidence in front of the goal, and can maybe nick you that goal that you so crave, because that's all that's holding this team back, really.
Well, Watford have no such problems in front of goal, and the returning Troy Deeney has hit the ground running after he's been able to get back involved with the Watford first team. And doesn't matter who he plays with, he seems to score 7 in his last 8 games. Tonight, Don, it's Matej Vydra, who we were really impressed with when we saw him earlier on this season.
Oh, we were. We saw Watford really destroy Birmingham City at the back end of August, and Vydra really influential. He looked a real handful, and Gus Poyet will know all about the threat of Gianfranco Zola's forward players. Will cause Brighton here this evening.
Well, as far as Chelsea goes, these two are Premier League greats. And it is great, Don, to see them at this level in the Championship, cutting their managerial teeth, if you like, and producing sides that produce great football as well, largely.
Absolutely. They say that many teams are moulded in the guise of the managers, and these two are certainly no exception.
2 different nationalities in the dugout, 10 different nationalities out there, very British conditions. Pouring rain, a pretty soggy pitch. And here we are in the last game of 2012 for these two, a year that has brought Brighton their first full calendar year here at this wonderful new stadium. Well, the 10th place finish last season. They finished 9 points off the playoffs. Watford, well, it's an unrecognisable outfit for them from 12 months ago. Pretty much everything has changed.
I think Brighton will be very, very keen to avoid the old deja vu, aren't they? They were in a shake-up for 3/4 of last season at the top end, and they just faded away at the most important time of the season. So, big night for them tonight. They can, with a 2-goal win, they can actually go into 6th place above Watford. So that's a massive incentive for them.
Bridge, Kazenga Lualua, and Bruno, the Spanish fullback, stretching his legs for the first time. There's Lopez, and that's Bruno, the fullback, the most advanced player, and I think we want to know where some of the attacking threat comes from for Brighton. We'll have our answer in the first 90 seconds or so.
Well, they've certainly, like I say, the changes that they've made have been very attack-minded, haven't they? As a team, struggled for goals. I think the two sitting players, Bridcut and Crofts, will allow the fullbacks, Wayne Bridge and Bruno, to bomb on. It will be the insurance policy for Brighton tonight.
It's an attacking lineup, isn't it, that Gustavo Poyet has picked, including this guy, Orlandi, available again after injury. And he's nearly threaded it through to an offside. Craig McHale-Smith, close.
Yeah, he just went a fraction, I mean a fraction, too soon, because he took up a really intelligent position in between the two central defenders, tries to get back on. You're talking fractions, aren't you? But it's a good call, it's a right call from the assistant referee.
10 goals in 20 games, one every 2 games, responsible for the lion's share of Brighton's 31 goals. Watford have scored 41 championship goals. It's that precious commodity, as you well know, Don, the goal scorer.
Well, thanks for that, William. Yeah, it's
a pleasure.
It is something that Watford have been great. They're the top away scorers in the championship, aren't they? And only prior to this afternoon's kick-off, only Cardiff and Crystal Palace have managed to score more goals. They will give you a chance, though. Watford, away from home, they're without a clean sheet. And I think the early signs are that Brighton, when Watford do have possession, when Almouni has got the ball, when the defenders have got the ball, they'll be closing them down very high up the pitch. That's what it looks like to me.
Now, they've got some standout scorelines away from home, haven't they? In particular, recently, that 6-1 win at Ellen Road. Deeney dispossessed. Chalobah, Vydra, and Deeney can spread it wide. Here's Anya. Almen Abdi. Chalobah, who has earned rave reviews during his loan spell from Chelsea.
He's only touched the ball 2 or 3 times already, but looks very, very assured, comfortable. The young man.
There's the Czech Pudil. There's the touch of insurance again from Chalobah. Goal kick given. Chalobah, well, you can see he feels it should have gone Watford's way.
It looked like it should have gone Watford's way. Referee Oliver Langford thought otherwise.
It might not look as pretty as it might in places, the pitch, but the early signs are that it's playing pretty true. Orlandi losing out. There's Vydra. Chalobah. Almen Abdi. Chalobah dancing away from trouble. Good little touch from Vydra. And here's Pudil. Up towards Deeney, just a little too deep. Bridge with the touch. So Lualua.
Lovely football, isn't it? It allowed Watford to get into that wide area. And that's what we're going to get. Lovely passing football. We're also going to get some patient football. When these teams are in possession of the ball, they'll prompt and probe and wait for the right moment to try and hit a hurtful pass.
Well, over the last 6 games their form has very much been top 6, just 1 defeat, 3 wins, 12 points from a possible 16. Brighton, well, they've only lost 1 game over a similar time, but they've only won 1 as well. It's been the story of their season, just too many drawn games, 10 in total. Here's Bruno. Orlandi. Movement ahead of him. Orlandi takes it on, and why not on a treacherous night like this in terms of conditions?
Well, it took 5 minutes, and this is an obvious tactic for both teams. Long-range shots, because it is going to be a difficult night for the goalkeepers. Bounces off the greasy turf, picks up a bit of pace, and Almunia handles it very well.
Here's Anya. 5 yellow cards, the reason that the usual player in that position, Cassetti, is suspended today. Anya. 3 Watford players in the box here, awaiting delivery. It comes. It's well defended in the end by El Abd, at the expense of a corner.
Well, there's a big, strong physical presence, isn't he? Troy Deeney, 9 goals already. Adam El Abd had to be very, very strong.
Watford's first corner. It'll be taken by their Swiss international, Almen Abdi. Deeney is the one player in and around the goalkeeper. There are a cluster of Watford players bursting into action, as you see there. And there's a free header, which isn't really taken advantage of by Daniel Pudel.
Well, that's a chance. That's a big, big chance. And you have a look at Pudel. He just drifts round the back. I think it's Wayne Bridge. He was assigned to mark him. Absolutely nowhere near him, and Wayne Bridge can breathe a huge sigh of relief, because that is a golden opportunity for Watford to take the lead. Found that space way too easily for Gus Poyet's liking, I'm sure.
One of the army of loanees that have come into Watford since the takeover by the Pozzo family last summer. He's from one of the other clubs they own, Granada. Orlandi. Bruno. Orlandi. Bridcut. Just sit in front of that back 4. Loa. It's going to be an interesting battle against Anya. Anya's touch means Brighton's corner.
He stuck to his guns very well, didn't he, there? Kechi Anya. I do think the first goal from a Brighton perspective is going to be huge here. They need to score it, for me.
Bridcut. Vydra. Important touch back by Lopez, because Vydra is quick. Bridcut. Bruno. Knocked on by Lopez to Mikhail Smith. Pretty tight game when these two met earlier on in the season, back in September. Mikhail Smith's penalty is what separated the sides. Orlandi to Mikhail Smith. Still running. Lopez couldn't hold, and anyway, he was offside.
I'm not sure whether they meant the cross to find Craig Mikhail Smith's feet there. With his back to goal, looking to bring others in. It was offside. Going back to that point, I do think you have success at any level. You have to make your home ground a fortress, don't you? And in 12 games, Brighton managed 4 wins here. And that lack of goals that we keep harping on about, we keep highlighting it, has proved really costly. And that's why I think the first goal for them here tonight is going to be massive.
In the last game that they played just before Christmas, they were 2-0 down, had to come back, save it against Millwall. Here's Loa. Oh, a slip from Orlandi, and it's over. Brighton's best move of the match.
Oh, what a chance. There's a really crucial slip, and that's why it's a night for attackers for me. Great movement from Loa. He picks the pass, and then Mikhail Smith goes over. Wonderful work. As it comes to Andrew Crofts, the minimum requirement is he has to hit the target. What a chance.
Vydra. Pudel. Pudel spreading it with the outside of his boot, looking for Anya, his colleague from Granada, who keeps it in. Chalaba. And Ekstrand has lost it. Brighton can break. Only got 2 forward here, though. And Watford have plenty back. Mikhail Smith finding Lopez.
I'll have to say that's disappointing from Brighton for me, because there were 2 attacking. It was 2v2 for a while, but all of a sudden Watford made it 5 against 2. So if the Watford players can get back into their own defensive area that quickly, where are the Brighton players? Is that one of the reasons that they've struggled for goals? Maybe there's a lack of urgency in getting forward and supporting the forward players there.
Is that a lack of confidence or a lack of urgency, as you say?
There's any reason for it other than maybe a lack of energy, which, you know, people speak about. They've had 11 days off. I know I didn't like 11 days off. I prefer a week off, but you kind of feel a little bit lackadaisical if you have too long away from the actual rigours of playing matches.
If you're wondering about the reason why they had 11 days off, they rescheduled their match here due for Boxing Day against Millwall for just before Christmas, and they then had a match up at Blackburn rained off. Here's Abdi, halted by Bridcut, and Abdi's still down.
And again, I'm looking for any kind of forward movement at pace with intensity from Brighton. It's a little bit slow coming for my liking.
Bridge. There's Loire outside him. Looks for Mikhail Smith. And Ekstrand had the presence of mind to leave it.
Well, that's a good decision, although gets away with it. Mikhail Smith runs across the big central defender. It's only that the cross is a fraction over hit. Watford defender gets away with it, but it's a good ball in, got himself forward, and that's what Brighton need from both fullbacks.
Near full house here at the increased capacity Amex Stadium. That's part of 27,000 available to get in here these days.
They've come a long way, haven't they, from their days at the Withdean? 16 seasons ago, they were nearly out of the Football League, weren't they? They've come a long way now. Lots of optimism around here.
Mikhail Smith. He suddenly seemed to take an arm to the face there from Tommy Hoban, but nothing given. Bruno. Orlandi. Bruno.
And Mikhail Smith, only target. Only target, and that, I think there's a clue there as to why they're not getting the amount of goals that perhaps they should.
Loire worked it through for Bridge. Hoban to Chalaba, 2 teenagers combining for Watford. One homegrown, one borrowed. Bridcut. But he does so well, provided Brighton with a platform. But Fitzhall soon removes that from them.
Balanced, aren't we? I do like the look of Watford on the counter-attack, I have to say. Brighton just starting to force Watford a little bit further back, though.
Here's Mikhail Smith, Bruno well forward, Lopez in the centre-forward position. Orlandi lurking on the edge of the box, but Bruno's delivery is a little bit lacklustre. A chance for Brighton to launch one of those counters you were just talking about, Don. Deeney. Three at the back, very much the order of the day. And many managers who are favouring that at the moment. You know, Roberto Martinez at Wigan, and a good win at Aston Villa today in the Premier League. And Gianfranco Zola didn't start the season that way, but one defeat in 10 games means that it tends to be the way they go.
impressive thing about that one defeat in 10 games for Watford is they have played 6 of the top half teams, picked up wins against many of them. That's to inspire them and instill them with confidence.
Touch from Vydra, Deeney, Lopez, Orlandi. Just shows enough to extract that he could slide in. An interesting battle for supremacy. Two sides who want to play their football. They're sort of contesting the right to do so just now.
When it breaks down, if it breaks down, Brighton will only have Mikhail Smith as any kind of a target up top, constantly getting 10 men behind the ball when Watford are in possession, which is why they've got the second best defence in the entire championship.
Lopez gives it away to Chalobah. Crofts. He's back here on the south coast in his second spell after he helped Norwich get out of this division a couple of seasons ago.
That's the one thing they are, you know, Brighton, they are patient. They will wait, they'll keep the ball at the back. We've got the time. A forward pass.
Bridge. Lua. The beating of Anya for pace. Fitzhall was there to cover.
The added bonus of having an extra central defender. You really can cover a lot of bases when the crosses are coming in your penalty area. Remember, both of these teams as well have a game in hand on most the rest of the championship, don't they? So a win for either here. See them in a very, very healthy position.
18-year-old Tommy Hoban standing strong. And there's controversy for Watford in that the academy has been sidelined by this new policy, so it's refreshing to see that some players from it still featuring in the first team, and Hoban's in that category. Here's Lua. Lopez couldn't bring it down, which looked like it was his intention.
That's why he's been brought in the team, because out of nothing he created something really reminiscent of his brother.
Going to try it on again, and you're going to ground in the challenge, and it's a Brighton free kick.
When you've got a player like him that is prepared to run with the ball and open up gaps, things like this can happen. That's a wonderful effort. Almunia would have been disappointed had the strike found the back of the net, but nevertheless he's hit the target and the goalkeeper had to deal with it.
There'll be another one here for him to deal with, presumably, that goes according to plan anyway for Brighton. We've got Orlandi and Lopez. Orlandi takes, trying to sneak it beyond his compatriot. But Almunia in the end didn't have to work too hard.
Well, it's a good 35 yards out, so trying to bend this round with the inside of the foot was always going to be a difficult ask. I think that's the kind of an area where you have to put your foot through the back of the ball, I would guess.
He's made no secret of the fact, has he, Gustavo Poyet, that he's in the market for another striker. He was one of a host of clubs chasing Chris Wood, who was on loan at Millwall, has now joined Leicester City. Also interesting to hear him talking about the Jason Roberts effect, about how he galvanised Reading's promotion push last season. Every manager looking for a player who can make that sort of impact this time round.
We all saw that with our own eyes, didn't we? Massive effect, his experience and his goals. His off-the-pitch presence and everything about Jason Roberts brought to Reading. Every club in the Championship, I would imagine, would love to get their hands on somebody like that, but wanting them and getting them, it's two different things.
Lopez. Bridge. Lualua. Watford making it difficult for Brighton to get the ball in. Key man here to frustrate Bridge. Lualua. They pass the ball well in these sort of areas, don't they, Watford?
They've got a really good shape, and they've got strikers that are prepared just to, when they're out of possession, drop back into those midfield areas and make it difficult for Brighton.
Bruno. Vydra was turned away from Bridka. Going to take it on himself here, Vydra. He's got beyond El Abd, he's pulled down, he's won the free kick. And where are other options down the left? Jonathan Hogg was getting forward well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And that's what I talk about, the counter-attack. When you've got players like this that can run with the ball at pace, take defenders on, you're going to be a threat. This is blatant, isn't it? Sinister from Adam El Abd. I'm not sure he really should have done that. There were plenty of cover around. Gordon Greer. Vydra still had a lot to do. He will argue he's taken one for the team, but what may the ramifications of that foul be? Because I'm sure Watford have got dead ball experts in their midst.
Well, we're about to find out those ramifications you speak of, Don. Look at Pudil, he looks like he fancies a crack at this with that left peg of his. Almen Abdi, he's already got 5 goals from midfield this season. And perhaps it will be Chalobah. Abdi, the Brighton wall is well constructed and stands its ground.
Disappointing, isn't it? Disappointing effort. It was a nice distance out as well. It was 23, 24 yards out, which allows you the time to get the ball up over a wall and on target. Disappointing effort.
Anya. Hoban. Fitzhall. Vydra. Deeney. Vydra. Nearly worked her way through. Good imaginative stuff from Watford.
They look sharp, don't they, going forward in Vydra. Deeney's movement is good. They've got players that want to join in as well. And obviously, El Abd now on a yellow card. If you were Watford, you'd get the ball to Vydra, wouldn't you? Take him on at every opportunity.
Chalobah. Pudil. Chalobah. Vydra. Deeney. Chalobah. Brought down.
Well, the referee, yeah, he could pull that back, you know. There's no advantage gained. The referee is perfectly entitled. But let's admire the football, the passing, the movement. It's absolutely wonderful. El Abd again it is, you know. It's Adam El Abd. Or is it Bruno? I beg your pardon, but that's a foul. There's no question that's a foul. Hogg gets the shot away, but there's no advantage. Should be a free kick for me.
Chalobah. Watford starting to find a nice silky rhythm as they launch attack after attack at Brighton's usually stubborn and miserly defence. Hogg. Hoban. Anya. Allowed to cross to clip it away.
This is a good spell for Watford. Probably their best spell in the game. Pushing Brighton back. It's been a terrific away performance, really. You think Almunia, one pretty routine save in 25 minutes. They'll be reasonably pleased.
Well, it's testament to the job, really, that Gianfranco Zola has done, that they've got one of the best away records in this league. It's usually a test of character, isn't it, how you perform away from home. And this is a collection of lone players, and then he thrust upon him.
And that's why he's done a remarkable job, I have to say. Moulded the lone players into an attractive attacking football team that scores goals. It takes some doing. So many changes. He's done it well.
They've lost 4 games away from home this season. The last one at the end of October against Blackburn. That's unbeaten in 4.
They beat 6 past Leeds, though, didn't they, away? Sheffield Wednesday 4 past them. Veritable draws at Burnley and Blackpool. That's their last 4 away games, so we shouldn't be surprised at what we're seeing here.
Well, they're on top at the moment, there's no doubt about that. Anya. Deeney.
Like I say, Brighton having to dig in now. They really are. Wonderful football again. At the full-back is the outlet. Dinks the ball in. I'd like to see him get the cross in with a bit more purpose than that. Left Troy Deeney an awful lot to do with that header. Too many attempts, really. I think all the saves have been fairly routine.
Bruno. Orlandi. Up towards Mikhail Smith. Fitzhall was in the way. And Shalaba. Anya. Bridge wins that particular duel. And Loa up through the gears, and he's rather cynically blocked off by Alman Abdi, who you would assume will go into the book for that.
And again, as blatant as there possibly can be, a yellow card. Totally done for pace. And this is definitely what you call taking one for the team, because Loa, with all his pace, he was away. Abdi knows it, just leans into him, bundles him over. No choice for the referee.
Bruno. Elad. Bridge. Loa. Bruno. Fitzhall, an important touch.
Once again, I mentioned the fact they've got 3 central defenders in there. Fitzhall, with all his experience, planted himself in a good area for his team. Vital touch.
Here's Hogg. Abdi. Ikechi Anya. Loa tested defensively. And he passes that test.
He's doing well for his team, both going forward and the ugly side of the game, working hard defensively, because Anya spending a lot of time bombing forward from that right wing-back position.
Here's Hoban. Up and under. Alab got the touch. Lopez needs to. And Bruno and Lopez tend to play it out of the back. Got on by Bridka. Mikhail Smith. Good cut. Mikhail Smith onside. They need someone in the middle. That someone may just be Loa. It is forced behind.
Not a great ball in from Craig Mikhail Smith. Breaks the offside trap well, and now he's looking for targets in the middle. Goes low, and in going low, he's inviting the first man to intercept it.
Bruno. Lopez. Plenty of bodies committed forward here for Brighton. They just need to get it in. Lopez slips. And that could yet prove a very costly loss of footing there as Pudil comes forward, finds Vydra.
Well done, Vydra. That's what he is so good at, isn't it? Recognise the danger. And his team are under pressure.
It should have been taken care of here, but it hasn't been. It has now by Brighton.
Vydra again, wasn't it? A little terrier in there. Loves the tackle.
Mikhail Smith. You can hear his name being chanted by the Brighton fans. They realise what an important, often unsung role he plays in that holding midfield role.
I think what that does is it highlights the knowledge the Brighton fans have about the game. Not many holding midfielders get their name sang around the football grounds. Usually strikers get all the glory, and rightly so.
Discuss. Here's Loa. Goal kick.
Good defending. He has been a bright light, hasn't he? There's no question. Kazenga Loa on that side. He's proved a threat. This Poyet needs more from some of the other attack-minded players. Orlandi, fairly quiet, hasn't he? David Lopez, fairly quiet. Needs a bit more. He'll be fairly relaxed about how the game's gone so far. His team really do look a real threat on the counter-attack.
Well, what both managers have instilled in their cosmopolitan groups of players is good old-fashioned work ethic, and we're seeing plenty of that. And the conditions probably dictate that silky football's not particularly easy to come by on an evening like this. Watford are doing their best. Here's Anya. Shalaba. The rain, incidentally, has just eased off for now. Here's Hogg. Abdi. Anya. Deeney goes near post. And swept behind by Gordon Greer.
Oh, wonderful cross. This time they work Anya into an area where he doesn't have to be a player to get the cross in, and he delivers. Wonderful cross. Only Troy Deeney really attacking that ball.
Abdi with the corner. Craig Mikhail Smith just stole in ahead of Deeney. You can see by his reaction he thought he was in there.
He's working hard for his team. His movement's good. He's holding the ball up.
Vydra. Will be another corner for Brighton, who are enjoying just a little spell of pressure. 10 minutes left on the first half.
They really are fizzing these corners in. Plenty of pace, and caused Brighton 1 or 2 problems. Deeney asking the assistant referee just to watch Andrew Cross. He's pulling his shirt.
Had a sneak in at the near post, but Kuszak was aware and alert.
I'm sure that's a cross. It's just very poor. And Abdi, unfortunately for Watford.
Brighton go direct, looking for Mikhail Smith, who goes to ground. Nothing given.
I don't think you do yourself any favours when you fall that theatrically. It's over-theatrical. You're almost telling the referee that actually it's not a foul.
Prudel. Chalobah. Watford will certainly be looking to extend his loan, which is due to run out at the start of 2013, in a couple of days' time.
He's been absolutely outstanding. He really has. He's pulling the strings in those central areas for Watford wonderfully well.
Vydra. Bridcut's back there in the back line, but this is Almen Abdi. Hulk. Pudel. To the give and go with Vydra. Vydra seeking Deeney. Alak did well. And trying to play their way out. They may well have played their way into trouble. Challenge by Orlandi on Chalobah. There's an opportunity for Watford to fire one in on goal.
Oh, again, this is so naive, it's untrue. Orlandi, Leighton, just nowhere near the ball. Clips Chalobah's heels. And again, you wonder whether Watford can punish that naivety.
We talk about the qualities of strikers. Was that what they call a striker's challenge?
There's no defence for that challenge. It was a poor, naive challenge. And if anything comes of it, his manager will be raging.
Well, Abdi, who tends to get on most of the Watford set pieces, setting his sights. Abdi straight down the throat of Kuszak.
It was a better effort than his first one. Got over the wall and he hit the target. So he's moving in the right direction. And it was never really going to trouble Thomas Kuszak.
Kuszak, who was a Watford player, of course, last season, had a spell on loan under Sean Dyche in the closing months of the season. As Watford moved away from at one point, looked like it might be a relegation problem. Is Anya. Danced away by Bridge, but for Vydra.
He was very sharp in pouncing onto the loose ball. And then the rest is forgettable. As I say, reacts the first, gets on to the loose ball. That's a horrible slice, and he knows it.
10 goals this season, Matej Vydra. 5 in the last 7, i.e. he's usually better than that. Another one intended for Mikhail Smith. He stays on his feet this time. Claims for the corner. Again, he doesn't get what he's looking for.
It was close, it really was close, there's no doubt about it. He does well to get the strike at goal from there. And, yeah, he should have had his corner. Assistant referee's missed one.
The whole ball has to be over the line. The whole ball was over the line.
It was. It wasn't really that close either, was it?
Bruno. Orlandi. Beyond Chalobah. Feeding Lua. Here's Bruno. He was kind of playing cross. Cross felt that he was just pulled back a little bit by Fitzhall, but not enough for any decision. Always associated with Chelsea for his fine times there and his former club. The tricky looking trip to Goodison Park, that's the first part of Super Sunday tomorrow, also available in 3D from 1 o'clock. And then Queen's Park Rangers against Liverpool from 3:30. That one also Sky Sports 1 HD. Fitzhall seems to have some sort of problem, and it looks like it's going to be terminal. Just saw the signal from the physio, and he's not going to be able to carry on.
Well, that could be a big blow, because he has put himself in really good areas defensively. Made vital interceptions for his team. Just wonder whether that's a muscle tear.
Well, he's been a really important player for Watford this season. Defensive rock.
Well, that's when he's chasing Mikhail Smith, he just limps and pulls up a little bit, which indicates possible hamstring, doesn't it?
So Watford will presumably have to dip into their pool of loanees again and bring on the Brazilian Newton. By the look of things, he's the obvious replacement, a centre-half. He's had injury problems himself this season. Still in single figures in terms of appearances, had a couple of months out with an ankle injury. He's going to come on here for the remaining 3 minutes or so of the first half.
It'll be interesting to see how he copes. English winter. Craig Mackail-Smith wanting to run him every inch of the pitch.
Yeah, he'll be one player who's very happy to see Fitzhall going off, Craig Mackail-Smith. So the reorganisation has seen Ekstrand go into the centre, into the Fitzhall position, if you like. Newton's on the left, and Hoban has remained on the right. With that Watford back three. Newton, Chalobah, Hoban, Lualua. It's been a finely poised half of football so far, hasn't it?
It's gone through little phases, hasn't it, really? I still think Watford have looked more sharp going forward. They've carried more goals threat. We've already mentioned they've scored 10 more goals than Brighton, so we shouldn't really be that surprised about that.
Crofts. Mackail-Smith. Craig Mackail-Smith, it's a really inviting ball for Lopez, and that is super defending. The coverer was Daniel Pudil.
Well, that is brilliant defending, as good as it is attacking. Mackail-Smith runs in behind Newton, said he would, and that is vital.
Lualua.
He's done that once or twice before, hasn't he? Cut inside on that right foot, looking to get shots away. That one wasn't his best. He's not happy. But the movement of Craig Mackail-Smith. Welcome to the Championship, isn't it, for Newton? The new centre-half plays it into a wonderful area, but again, there's only one player looking to get on the end of it.
Bruno.
Finally poised, but I do think that Gianfranco Zola will be the happier or more content of the two. I do think Gus Poyet needs a bit more from Orlandi. And Lopez, we've hardly seen Lopez at all. Needs more.
Loa, who has been Brighton's bright spark. Mikhail Smith did that cleverly, but couldn't find a cutback. That was because of Watford numbers. Hogg the one to clear it away. Vydra. Brighton just upping the tempo in these 2 added minutes. First half time.
Well, again, the threat came down that left-hand side, didn't it, from Loa. Had a good ball in.
Vydra. Chalobah. Vydra! Kushak tips it around the post.
Well, right there, that piece of football. That's why I'm saying Watford just look that little bit sharper going forward. This is wonderful interplay. Vydra, Chalobah again. Vydra gets the strike. It's going in the corner. And Thomas Kuziak gets to stretch. Gets a really important finger on that to turn it round. But wonderful football.
Good cut. Didn't get enough on that as he would have wanted. Chalobah. Deeney!
That's the big one. That's the big chance he's been waiting for. He loves it when those crosses come in. Always gets himself into an area where he can get on the end of one, and he did. He's ahead of Andrew Crofts. I mean, that's a mismatch. What Andrew Crofts is doing, marking Troy Deeney, I don't know, but that's the chance of the half.
Tudor had a free header very early on in the match, didn't he, as well? And I suppose from a Brighton point of view, you think of that Andrew Crofts opportunity where he blazed over. That's probably their best chance, certainly up there with them.
You wonder, don't you, whether the missed chances will come back to haunt one or the other of them.
Bridge. Well, 2 managers who are associated as players with such extravagant scoring have seen their sides compete in a goalless first half here. Right at the end, probably the best opportunity fell to the informed Troy Deeney, but he could only put his header wide. Vydra as well in the thick of things, as Watford probably edged it, but the scoreline will tell you that half-time here at the Amex Stadium, it's Brighton 0, Watford 0.
And belief for me.
But where's that urgency going to come from?
I think the players have got to take it up on board themselves. The manager can say certain things in the dressing room. Gus Poyet will have his say, but it's up to those players to go out, raise the tempo, and just believe in themselves. More simple as that.
Has it been too comfortable for Watford? Yes, they play some nice stuff, but have they been allowed to enjoy too much time with the ball?
Well, possibly. They are a side that do enjoy the ball, and if we notice that they do keep the ball for 10, 15, 20 passes, there's no rush to go forward. They're patient, and the way that they're playing, their formation is really working well against Brighton's formation. They just need a goal, Watford.
And they need this man to start getting back amongst the goals as well. 10 championship goals so far this season. They'll need him back in the goals tonight because he's only scored 4 in his last 14 championship appearances. Let's rejoin our commentators Don Goodman and Bill Leslie.
Well, we know, Don, you're a man who likes to accentuate the positive. We could be here for history in the making. 57 years since the last goalless draw between these 2 clubs. In the Division 3 South meeting, April 1955.
There must be other positives. I'm sure we'll find some.
Well, speaking of positives, Gianfranco Zola will have taken plenty from that first half. Probably the only cloud on the horizon, the loss of Fitzhall to what we were told was a precautionary withdrawal because of a tight hamstring. No further changes for Watford at half-time, or indeed for Brighton.
I agree with Andy Hinchcliffe. I do think Brighton have to take more risks going forward. Yes, they may leave themselves exposed, but the 10 draws that they've had have already proved costly. And if they continue to keep drawing, they're not going to end up with what they want at the end of this season. You look at it, there's 2 ways to look at statistics, isn't there? They're a team that have lost 1 of 11 games, but they looked more like a team that have only won 3 of 16. And that's what we saw in the first half, whereas Watford, going forward, look sharp. They just haven't found that finishing touch. That's been the only thing missing. It's been a fantastic away performance from them, so more of the same expected from Gianfranco Zola.
Here's Loa trying to force away through. Newton, who came on to replace Fitzhall, gets it out. many more positives for Brighton if they can force a win here and do a rare double over Watford. Look above them, the sides Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Millwall, none of them winning today. Only Forest with that late Billy Sharp goal able to salvage a point. From Watford's point of view, 4 of the top 5 above them at the start of play today, all winning, none of them losing.
Nevertheless, a win tonight would see them only 8 points off an automatic place. And look at where they finished last season, 11th. It was a great effort from everybody at the club. Staff were different, players were different, but a great effort. And you see the kind of football that they're playing this season. Expect them, if you're connected with Watford, to go better than that. And if they're going to go better than that, they're not going to be a million miles away.
Actually, when you look at the last season that these two had, there were just 2 points and 1 place between them in the final table. Brighton finished in the position that they started today, and that was 10th. Here's Mikhail Smith, no offside flag. Claims the corner, and it's going to be a goal kick. Now they approached that sort of proximity in the table last season from different directions. Watford with a strong finish, and Brighton, after a really strong start, just slowly seeing their season peter out.
I spoke about it earlier, didn't I? You won't want deja vu, you won't want things to go the same way. Good win here tonight, as I say, a couple of goals would see them into the playoff places. They do have to start winning games here at the Amex Stadium, they really do.
When you fail to score in a third of your home games, which is what Brighton have done, it's hard to win them. A little nudge in the back there by Kazenga Lualua.
He's done well, Anya. Difficult evening at times. Lualua has had the better of him, but he stuck to his guns. And as you pointed out early on, it has been an interesting duel.
Two keepers on show here tonight, of course, who've played at the very highest level for 2 of the biggest clubs in the Premier League. Kushak with Manchester United and Manuel Almunia, for many years the #1 at Arsenal. Doesn't have to change his journey into work too much most days. Watford's training ground across the fence from Arsenal's just on the outskirts of London. Newton. Bridge. Lualua. Cut out by Abdi. They hunt in packs very effectively, Watford.
Very quiet. We're 5 minutes into the second half. Very, very quiet in here. That is testament to Watford. And Brighton to give their supporters anything to get their teeth into. Gus Poyet would have hoped for a quicker start to the second half from his team.
Allowed. Bridge. Lualua. Hogan's come across. Got the touch away for the corner.
He's done really well there, the young man. Would have been easy for him to dive in, and had he done that, I'm sure Lualua would have just flicked the ball over his legs. There would have been contact. Possible penalty appeal. Stood up and made the challenge. Good defending.
Lopez at the near post. Bruno had popped up. Lualua. Bruno. Mikhail Smith. well away by Joel Ekstrand. And Bridge. Greer. Bruno. Another Brighton tactic is out. In terms of getting forward, Don, does it need someone just to take a chance, to do something unexpected?
It does. Wayne Bridge was just a minute ago bringing the ball down this left-hand side, and I was looking at the options he had, and there were none. And then he found himself having to drive forward himself and then have to play the ball 20 yards back to one of his defensive teammates. So something has to change. I don't think it will be too long before we see a Brighton substitute. I really don't, because the pattern of this game, the tempo of this game has to change if the home team are going to win it, and win it they need to.
Well, Stephen W joined from Swansea in the summer. Certainly one of the options that Gustavo Poyet will be looking at.
He's got a terrific goal-scoring record against Watford, hasn't he? He's at 4 in 4.
And you're pressurised by Bridge. In the end, Bridge just lent in a little too much.
Referees do not give any leeway. I mean, Anya's got a fistful of Bridge's shirt. Bridge is just leaning on him a little bit. 6 of one and half a dozen of the other for me.
Electric burst forward from Vydra, which has opened up space for Deeney, and Watford lead. The man in form makes his mark.
Well, isn't that the difference? You know, you look at Craig McHale-Smith in Brighton's colours, their top scorer. I'm not sure he's had a sniff of the goal-scoring chance. They've gone to his teammates, but the two forward players of Watford had opportunities. I mean, Bruno takes a gamble. He leaves his position there at right back. And the ball, it all opens up, doesn't it? Allows Watford to surge in. Clever, intelligent movement from Troy Deeney. Just drifts off the shoulder of El Abd. And then he does what every good striker would do in this position. Hard and low. Has to hit the ball hard and low. Does. Under the defender and through the goalkeeper. And Watford have got their lead, and I think it's just about deserved.
His first goal in 3 games, and as you've just seen, a landmark goal as well. It's 50 career league goals now for Troy Deeney. And as they did last time out, a week before Christmas, Brighton at home find themselves having to come from behind.
Well, they haven't got a good record when they have to come from behind. They haven't won any of the 9 times they've gone behind. And that's why I felt a team that struggles for goals, a team that really is not prolific. It's always a big ask when you find yourself going behind. You know, now to get the 3 points they need 2. And on the evidence of the opening 55 minutes, hard to see where 2 are going to come from, but one step at a time.
Carl Smith was at point-blank range as he sought the penalty. His reward is a corner.
Didn't even look like a penalty to me, but desperate needs. Too close. I think it might have hit the hip anyway.
Orlandi's corner coming in tastefully. Lualoaz is going to sting Brighton into life, I wonder. Bruno. Over the top. Alabt.
He just doesn't get the direction. Drifts in. There's a bit of controversy. El Abd, as this ball keeps himself onside, drifts in behind. And he doesn't. Should be aiming for the far post, away from the goalkeeper. It's the only chance he's got of scoring in that scenario.
I think the presence there of Craig McHale-Smith just put him off a little bit.
Possibly. But a free header, he just misdirected it.
Pudil. Chalobah.
Well, it's not his best decision, and most of the decisions that the young man's made tonight have been outstanding. He's got support out on the right-hand side in Anya. Choose to shoot. Wrong decision.
Points from the last 24 available is Watford's tally. Only dropped points against Blackpool, Hull and Burnley in their last 8 games. There's been excellent restraint about the way they played, and that they've always looked comfortable in the match, seldom looked ruffled.
The problem for Brighton is they really are going to have to take risks just to try and get a point out of the game. The more risks they take, we've already seen the evidence. Watford can really counter-attack effectively. Often Gus Poyet has gone away from games here at the Amex Stadium where his team have dropped points, feeling that they really haven't deserved to lose games or draw games. It's left him really frustrated, but I don't think he can have any complaints so far tonight.
Michael Smith, well, that's exactly what he does. Sometimes he gets away with it, sometimes he'll get pulled back. It's the latter category this time. Well, he might get a little bit of help soon. Last season's top scorer, Ashley Barnes, is going to come on. It looks like Andrea Orlandi will be the one to make way. Barnes more of a target now, so we shall see whether that signals a change in formation as well as personnel. Deeney gets it back from Hogg. Good gut. He tussled with Deeney, no foul.
Maybe that's what the Brighton players need, a bit of justification. Gets them involved, doesn't it? Maybe not give the players a lift. Certainly around here, they're not happy with the referee. They felt that Troy Deeney impeded one of their players and they should have had a free kick.
So Ashley Barnes, who was a regular starter up until the last month or so, he's seen his contributions limited to coming off the bench in recent weeks, and he does so again.
I'd be very surprised if he's not pushed right up front alongside Michael Smith. It looks at the moment as if he's just going to like for like play in the hole behind the striker. I think he could provide a bit more help physically at the top end of the pitch for Craig Michael Smith.
Pudil, Newton, and the classy looking Chalobah. Hoban, Anya, beyond bridge, a bit of help from Cross, and now Loa. He's got beyond Chalobah, and comes Abdi effectively.
Brilliant, absolutely perfect tackle. Round of applause from his manager for that. And we all know enjoyed the creative side of the game, but I'm sure he's appreciating his team's work ethic here this evening.
It's been a good hour for Watford, a frustrating one for Brighton. Lopez, Crofts, Bruno. Welsh international Crofts. Again, it seemed the lack of options, the reason that it all broke down for Brighton. There's still life. In by Lopez. And it's put behind by Joel Ekstrand.
Well, this time the difference was they had Michael Smith and Ashley Barnes, who's a natural goal scorer, in between the sticks, trying to get on the end of the cross. And that will help them, help their cause.
They'll add the closest Brighton player to it.
Well, didn't really seem like the officials truly knew what happened here. Did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? He's climbing anyway. Oh no, clear corner. No wonder he's not happy. He needs help from his assistant in that scenario. Couldn't see from where he was.
Oliver Langford, the referee today. Lualua. Anya. Lualua's won it back. Mikal Smith. Important touch there by Ekström. Brighton need to find a way to get Watford out of their comfort zone, something they have been able to do too infrequently for Gustavo Poyet's liking so far. Here's Vydra, Deeney out wide.
For the early cross, holds his hand up in apology. Once again, they broke the Brighton attack up and they sprung forward, and for me that is one of the most obvious differences between these two teams.
And he's on course for a happy ending to 2012. Charlton, the next test for Watford, by the way, on New Year's Day. After that, they've got an interesting looking cut tie. They go to Manchester City. Just going to see how this impressive young Watford side shape up against the champions of the land.
They may be asked different questions.
Oh, and that could well be a penalty. It is. A rush of blood to the head for young Tommy Hoban. He fouls Lualua. And Brighton have a route back into the match.
Well, I blame the goalkeeper. It's my first impression. I think Manuel Almunia has to gather this. Has to gather that. There's no reason for him not to keep a hold of that. And then it's a case of a defender thinking he's going to play the ball, a striker nipping in front of him, and contact, and over he goes. The referee spots it. I think Manuel Almunia. They've not done well, have they, Brighton, from the penalty spot this season?
Having said that, this fella did score in the last match here against Millwall from the spot. The Spaniard, David Lopez, fires past his compatriot and gets Brighton back in business.
Well, he's barely had a kick, has he, David Lopez? But Johnny, on the spot, when you need a man to stay calm and dispatch a penalty emphatically under pressure, evidently there's your man, because this is as good a penalty as you'll see. It's rising. It really is hit with power, and it's rising. And any goalkeeper diving is not going to stop that. Game on, out of nowhere.
And the acquisition from Athletic Bilbao, the runner-up in the Europa League last season, has done the business. It's 2-2 from the spot now for him. And suddenly the Amex feels like a very different place. They needed a break and they got one.
It'll be interesting now to see Watford's response. Maybe it was the only way you saw anything happening, maybe a set piece or a rush of blood, and that's what it was.
Now with wind in their sails, Bruno fires in. Hoban did relatively well. It was a very awkward situation for him to deal with. Possibility of a counter here. Chalobah waits his time and plays an absolutely beautiful ball. That was some pass, wasn't it, from young Chalobah?
Oh, unbelievable, unbelievable. And Deeney's ball in isn't that bad. Sorry, Puddles. Deeney's the only one trying to get on the end of it. Vydra, really surprised he didn't try and get closer to goal. May have had a tap in had he done so.
Barnes leaves it to Loa. Barnes. Mikhail Smith. The one in the middle, Lopez, has joined him. Watford have plenty back. Bridge. Bridcut. Bruno. A little more sure of hand this time.
The crowd were urging him to shoot. I'm not sure it was the right thing, really. He possesses a good strike, but 35 yards out at least.
Vydra. Deflection and over. It's another goal for Vydra, but it needed a big slice of luck to take it beyond Thomas Kuszczak and give Watford the lead again.
Well, there's a couple of really sloppy pieces of play from Brighton here. Number one, how Shalabah finds that much space in the middle of the pitch, I don't know. And then Vydra simply has to be closed down. But look, Shalabah, acres of space. Nobody closing him down. And look at the space that then Vydra has got. It's El Abd, doesn't come out to meet him. Backs off, and eventually hangs a leg out, and it loops the ball over an absolutely helpless Thomas Kuszczak. But had El Abd gone quicker to engage Vydra, that would not happen. Poor pieces of defending, not one, but two. That is costly.
They weren't level for long. The long-serving Adam El Abd, a forlorn figure as Brighton, low scoring here at home, have to do it all again. Just over 2 minutes. They were back in the match. Now they're back behind. It's always pleasing for a manager when your two strikers get on the score sheet, and that's what's happened. Troy Deeney and Vydra, both in the second half. Back come Brighton. Boven met it with his head. Here's Mikhail Smith. Just wouldn't fall for him in time. Deeney. Now look at the pace of Vydra. He's too quick for everyone here. He's through. Vydra. Beautiful goal. Fine finish. Pace, precision, pretty much perfect scoreline for Watford, who lead 3-1.
Well, it came from an absolutely brilliant Brighton cross that was headed clear, and then it was clinical. It was counter-attacking football, as good as you'll see it. You know what? If you were watching Real Madrid or Barcelona score this goal, you'd be waxing lyrical. Look at, he's still got a bit of work to do, hasn't he? Wonderful pass, wonderful pace, but this is the icing on the cake. A truly emphatic finish, hard, low, across Thomas Kuszczak. No chance for the keeper, and an absolutely stunning goal. And now, 2-goal cushion. It's a long way back for Brighton now.
In the space of 74 seconds, Watford look like they have taken this game away from Brighton.
Well, we've been saying all game, haven't we, how dangerous that Watford looked on the counter-attack. And so it proved. Absolutely stunning goal. Not if you're Brighton, not if you're Gus Poyet. But Gianfranco Zola would have enjoyed everything about that goal from his team. Absolutely everything. Stunning.
Bridge. Well, one thing on Brighton's side is that there's time to mount some sort of fight back. There are many things against them. They'll know just how lethal they will be as they twist to try and bridge this 2-goal deficit.
Well, this is no fluke. Again, we remind people, the last 4 away games that this Watford team have played, 6 past Leeds, 4 past Sheffield Wednesday, another 2 against Blackpool, and 1 against Burnley. They have got goals, and they've demonstrated why they are the division's highest away scorers this season. They're a threat, I tell you, not to be taken lightly.
Well, when Craig Mikhail Smith was enjoying his purple patch earlier in the season and got 6 goals in 4 games, that was the time that Brighton were really knocking them in here at home. They put 5 past Barnsley, for example. They managed to get 3 here, the 3-0 win against Sheffield Wednesday as well. But since then, they haven't managed more than 2 goals here at the Amex Stadium. They need another 2 if they are to not end the year on a pretty sour note.
Anybody here, anybody watching can deny that Watford deserve this lead. That's the thing. It's not a fluke.
Tell you what it is a mightily impressive away performance.
That's what I'm saying. Even the goal they've conceded, Watford, very, very avoidable. Manuel Almunia will be so thankful that he is playing in a team that are so capable of scoring goals.
Michael Smith, Loire, Barnes trying to get into the middle. Watford, as well as being impressive in the attacking areas, also very quick to get men back.
Well, Anya, the right back, has just been stretching his calf. It looks like he's running on empty. I know he's not been a regular starter.
Second substitution for Watford.
The Belgian Jeffrey Mujangi Bia.
And he is replaced by number 37, Jeffrey Mujangi Bia.
Places Anya, who certainly put a shift in. Wolves fans may remember him. He had 18 months on loan at Molineux. Straight into the action, Mujangi Bia. Munia's come a long way. It was unconvincing. There was a serious collision with his own man Hoban, who's come off worse.
Well, same 2 players, isn't it? Got himself in a tiz. Tommy Hoban, whether he knows what is a heavy collision. It's only at the last minute he realises Almunia's there, and then there's nowhere for either of them to go. The fortunate thing for Watford is the ball drops and Almunia can pick it up. Just a bit of a lack of communication there.
It's actually in the second half been Brighton's best route into the match, hasn't it? Manuel Almunia has made some uncertain contributions, failing to gather before the penalty. Well, with quarter of an hour to play, it's time to throw everything at it and make the 2 remaining substitutions available to him. Stephen Dobbie on. David Lopez, who scored the penalty but has been on the fringes of the match for the majority of it. And the former Watford striker Will Hoskins replaces Andrew Cross.
Five very attack-minded players out there now, Brighton. Could go one way or the other.
Bridcut. The physical challenge by Hogg on Wayne Bridge. He maintains it was shoulder to shoulder.
He was wrong.
Brilliant. Bridcut. Loire. Floated up for Michael Smith. Newton kept his eye on it. Bruno.
They've been overextended, have they? Those back 3. Newton, we thought, may have had a tough introduction. The running of Michael Smith, only once has he been tested, really. Tommy Hoban has got more problems with his goalkeeper than Brighton strikers. Ekstrand has just strolled around.
Mikhail Smith gets a run here. Got Almunia quickly off his line. We're looking at pure quality, and they might be limited by who they bring in, Watford, in terms of the fact that it's Granada and Udinese, the two clubs that are owned by the Pozzo family outside this country. You know, Udinese on the fringes of qualifying for the Champions League last season. They finished top 4 the season before last in Serie A. A competitive side in Italy's top division. And as such, the players they have are of a certain quality. Newton, one of those.
What we've seen, very high quality. We saw it earlier in the season, didn't we? A home victory over Birmingham.
Vydra, only 20 years old, has shown this evening with his 2 goals, particularly the pace with which he burst for the second. That's what a player he is for Watford. Offside flag here against Dobby, who finds Lualua. 3 men in the box here for Brighton. That does his work effectively. Sorry, Don.
No, I was going to say Lualua has been one of the shining lights, hasn't he, in the blue and white stripes of Brighton. Made a poor decision there.
6,727, and that includes 1,596 Watford fans.
Well, the fact that Gustavo Poyet's been able to say that he's in for players like Chris Wood would suggest that there's money for reinforcements in the up-and-coming January window. We've got Vicente, who's hardly featured at all this season. He's a wonderfully talented player. Hoskins.
He's got 1 or 2 players that are out. I hope they recover from injury that we'll be able to bring back into the fold, but this goal scoring, this real out-and-out threat that we spoke about that's lacking, really evident tonight. We really have to do something about that.
Lualua. Up against Mujangi Bia, carrying it out of play. It's a pretty intangible commodity, isn't it, confidence, but maybe that has something to do with the difference, a sort of spark that Watford have had almost from the off tonight that Brighton have struggled to find.
Well, I casually mentioned it earlier, you know, 11 days without a competitive game. I didn't like that. I felt lethargic when I came back from that. It looks like there's been quite a bit of lethargy out there in the Brighton shirts.
Watford, after their Boxing Day postponement at Bristol City, having the best part of a week off, it seems to have served them rather better.
A week's not bad. A week's good. 11 days, a bit more than you'd want, I think, as a player.
Lualua. Flagged on this near side for the use of the arm.
Just had a couple of minutes where things just haven't gone his way, and it's almost like there's a resignation in this stadium, isn't there, that the game is up. That's what it feels like to me. That's what it looks like out there on the pitch, and that'll disappoint Gus Poyet. You know what, if they could get a goal back now, there is still time. How often do you see it? Have to keep going.
Vydra will certainly do that. He's on a hat-trick after all. Bridge cut. Bridge.
Crowd, they want to get on with it. 9 minutes left, plus added time. 6 substitutes on. Surely going to get a bit of extra time as well, aren't they?
Unless there's a Significant and pretty sensational turnaround in the way this one's going. Brighton looking down the barrel of just one win in their last 7 games. Watford, yes, they capitulate in extraordinary style, improving on a record which see them have only lost 1 of their last 11. Encouraging form. A hugely encouraging performance. Here's Bruno. Was there a nudge on Hoskins?
Some fantastic crosses in. Brilliant cross went in for Watford's 3rd goal. Ironically, they broke from it.
Bridge. One a little too long on the ball there, Bobby. Jangibia. Giving it straight to Bruno.
That's their only danger for me, is that they get a little bit overconfident, Watford. Don't be professional. That was a silly pass played on the Jangibia.
Chalobah. Vydra. Taken on by Mujangibia. The lad's blocked this time. Doesn't see it deflect beyond his own goalkeeper, like it did for Watford's 2nd. Put them back in the lead. Troy Deeney had given Watford the lead just before the hour mark. A Lopez penalty. 7 minutes later, levelled it up. Just a couple of minutes later came that deflected effort from Vydra. 74 seconds after that, Vydra had effectively taken the game beyond their hosts.
Liam Bridcutt has just been awarded the Albion Man of the Match by the sponsors. Hard to disagree with that, really, but you would want it, wouldn't you, here at home, to be one of your forward-thinking players rather than your holding midfielder. Tells a story.
And in the overall reckoning, he wouldn't be contesting the main award, I wouldn't have thought. We'll find out shortly. Here's Craig McCall-Smith. Good endeavour from him. And that's where it all ended. Endeavour without end product.
Again by Chalobah. He just seems to have eyes in the back of his head. Real awareness.
Vydra. Mujangibia. Vydra's made his run. Deeney's in there. He was close.
Once again, it is Watford providing the threat. I think this might have been a pass for Vydra, but it's overhit. But Deeney's made a run. Not far off getting on the end of that.
Bridge.
That's the difference now, isn't it? Luar was looking to turn and run at the right back every opportunity. He's just had an opportunity twice there to turn and get at the substitute. He's laid the ball back.
Hoskins. That was a lovely first touch, but Almunia was there to make sure the second wasn't a second goal for Watford, for Brighton rather.
One of their best moments of the game, Brighton. Good movement. Lovely ball into him. First touch is exquisite. Second one's excellent as well. Angle, I guess, always against Will Hoskins here. And Almunia this time. He's got his angles right.
Bruno. Smith the target there, but delivery from Bruno for once off target. Jangi Beer just taking the legs of Luar away. Clear message from the referee to the Watford substitute. In Empire Championship table terms, it's the response Watford would have needed to stay in touch with all those sides that started the day above them. Then by Bruno. Shalabar away. El Abd.
When they've been called upon, they have defended very well. Been some really good crosses gone into that Watford penalty area. Defenders have done really well with dealing with them.
Bridge offering the overlap. Allows Lualua to cut in field, but getting no change at all out of Jangi Beer.
They'll look forward now, haven't they? Brighton, Ipswich, Derby, Birmingham, Blackburn, Sheffield Wednesday. There's only Derby County in the top half, just about. Certainly mid-table in that run. It certainly represents a run of games away from top half teams. That's where they've struggled. This is now only 1-2 of 13.
Here's Barnes. Jangi Beer, an effective challenge. Dobby. Vydra. Pudil set off down the left. Here's Vydra with Jangi Beer. Still a lot of space out there on the left, Pudil. And Vydra sweeps it out to him. Olays from the travelling Watford fans. Behind Thomas Kuszak's goal.
They must be loving it. Absolutely loving it. Not just the fact that they're winning football matches, but winning them in style.
Speaking of style, Shalabar has oozed it all evening. Think about when Brighton won with a late penalty at Vicarage Road back in September. Watford had just had the takeover, just had the influx of players. They'd lost players like Martin Taylor, who seemed like they were going to be central to the plan this season. They were on a run of 3 defeats coming into that one. The defeat against Brighton made it 4 in a row. Looked like this new experiment, if you like, could be a recipe for disaster. Credit to Gianfranco Zola and all his coaching staff at Watford for the fact that it's, at the moment, seeming destined for good things this season.
It certainly is. Well, they're going to get anything out of this at all. They must score from this Brighton. And Jangi Beer giving them a chance to at least get some quality delivery into that penalty area.
Dobby, a player who is capable of delivering it. Not this time.
5 minutes at time.
This is what your first live Sky Sports action of 2013 looks like. West Bromwich Albion against Fulham. That's live 12:30 Sky Sports 1 HD with Don Goodman. And Southampton against Arsenal. That's live 5:15 Sky Sports 1 HD a little later in the day.
5 extra minutes. We knew they'd get a little bit of time at the end of this game. Where's the urgency? I want to see some urgency. I haven't seen it for large parts.
Lualua. Dobby. Brickdat. Newton's won it back. this from the centre-half. Won't surprise you to hear he's Brazilian.
Brazilian centre-half, show off, isn't he? Just oozing confidence, aren't they? Perfect illustration of that.
There have been many things that have been impressive about Watford this evening, but elegance on the ball and industry off it, it's a fantastic combination at this level.
They've done some really hard work off the ball, closing Brighton down, and their bodies in the way of shots. Defended really well, defended from the front. They look a real good team, has to be said.
Gustavo Poyet recently has been admitting that his Brighton performances have been a little below par. He said he was surprised he was still able to be in touch with the playoff positions given the results that his side have been producing, all those draws, not enough wins. So there's going to be one win in 7 now as 2012 turns to 2013. Don't rule them out if they get a couple of players, a little bit of confidence. This is not the best of Brighton we've seen today, I think.
Definitely not.
Dobby. Vydra. Deeney. Realises he's not going to get that.
What Watford have done here tonight is they've totally established themselves in the top 6. 6th position. Would give them a 6-point cushion over Brighton. 6 points at this stage of the season. Still plenty to play for, that is for sure.
Hoskins. Out by Chalobah. Keeping hold of him for the second half of the season. Could make a big difference for them.
Looked outstanding, really has pulled the strings in those central areas. He's also, again, reiterating, worked really hard out in possession of the ball, made some tackles, track runners, all-round good match, the young man. Very, very impressive.
Made that one terrific pass. It didn't come to anything in terms of goals, but just showed the elegance and the talent that he has. 18 years old, remember.
What's impressed me is his awareness of what's around him. He really has. He's flicked balls round corners, he's sprayed balls right and left. Struggling physically at the minute and holding that hamstring, is he? That'll be a bit of a worry.
He had that block challenge a moment ago. Maybe it's a result of that. Loa. Into the 6th minute of added time now. Well, this is a golden end to the year of 2012 for the Golden Boys. Gianfranco Zola getting the better of his old mate and doing so in some style. It's befitted Zola the player. Watford came here in a good run of form and they really put Brighton to the sword in the second half. They went ahead, were pegged back by a Lopez penalty, and then Matej Vydra, Watford's top scorer, stepped up. Touch of fortune about the first goal as his shot deflected in off Adam El Abd. His second, though, real counter-attacking quality. The pace of Vydra, they simply couldn't live with it. So Watford just 1 defeat in 11 games, showing that their experiment, if you like, of bringing in all these lone players is really reaping dividends. They are feeling very good about themselves, and who knows about an unlikely promotion bid as the season moves well into its second half. Let's get some reaction now and join Jonathan Oates.
Nathaniel, well played. Did you get what you deserved today, do you think?
Yeah, I thought the boys were fantastic. I mean, we came we knew it was going to be a tough game. It's always a tough ground to win. But I think the team played really well today and we deserved the win.
And yourself as an 18-year-old lad, what does it mean to you to come to a big stadium like this, big crowd, and play as you did?
Yeah, it's always great, you know. Playing for Watford's it's been a really good experience for me, you know. And the likes of Troy, the likes of Fitzall, and all the lads really, and the manager, of course, has been giving me really good advice, and I'm enjoying it.
Your loan spell ends on January the 2nd after the Charlton game. What does the future hold for you now?
I'm not too sure yet. I've got to wait from Chelsea. I've got to hear what Chelsea have to say. But I'm enjoying my football at the moment, and I just want to keep progressing.
Troy, your 50th league goal, congratulations. Your 8th in 9 games as well. What's happening for you recently?
Bit of luck, obviously. Now, to be fair, if it's going well, obviously when you've got supply from these boys, he's got to take your chances, to be fair. I missed one early doors and I thought it was going to be a problem, but hopefully we've got the goal, and as you can see, the fans here are buzzing, we're buzzing, and let's just kick on from now.
Yeah, you're 6th in the table. Do you think you're surprising a few people this season?
Yeah, other people, yeah, not ourselves. I think you look at the quality we have on the bench. You know, people like Mark Yates didn't even get on today, so we're happy with how things are going, and hopefully in January we can add again.
Can you stay in that top 6 now?
Why not? You just see what we did, why not?
So. Well played. Nathan Chevalier is the Empower man of the match. Troy, do the honours for us. Well played.
18 years of age, and as Jonathan said, that loan deal expires on the 2nd of January. Gianfranco Zola will be doing everything to persuade his former club to extend that loan deal. A wonderfully mature performance from him on the field today, and certainly one for the future, but he's doing it in the present for Watford at the moment, and both players saluting the Watford fans, who are loving life on the moment on the road. 20 points they've hit away from home so far this season. They're the 2nd best away side in the Championship. 16 goals in the last 5 games. As well. Down the bottom half of the table, you'll see Barnsley sit bottom of the Empire Championship tonight, and Keith Hill has paid the price for just 1 win in their last 14 games. Barnsley on their search for their 6th manager in the last. Gianfranco Zola now are the 2nd best away side in the Championship. He is speaking with Jonathan Oakes.
Gianfranco, well played. Was that a performance to make you proud?
Well, I certainly was very pleased. We had a few problems at the beginning. First 15 minutes they were really causing us a lot of problems because they are a good team. Then we found our rhythm, we found the passing, and in the end, well, I can say it was a deserved victory.
You've always been keen to play football the right way, but how important was it that they work as hard as they did today?
No, that is vital. I mean, it's you know, you in this championship, whatever you want to play, in any championship, you need to get the right to play your own football. So you have to also work hard when the opposition has got the ball. And to be honest, today my team was excellent in that.
Nathaniel Shalabar certainly stood out. What does the future hold for him? Do you think you can extend his loan period?
We do hope so. I think he's been good, but I think Vydra also was another excellent player. He was outstanding. But the whole team, to be honest, performed quite well. I was pleased.
With so many loan players, do you think that you've shown that you can incorporate all these players into the same team and make progress?
I'll tell you, there are loan players, but we are looking for signing them. So they're not here just because, just on a pass, on a, how do you say, on the move. We want to keep them, the good ones, the ones that they are good enough for us. So that's what we're going to try to do. And other than that, you know, we are all here. They try to speak the same language, which is football. And as long as you understand that, you are fine.
You're 6th in the table. You said before the game that perhaps you were ahead of schedule there. Can you stay in the top 6? What can you achieve this season?
Well, what we can achieve, I don't know, because it is a long and